I'm going back. I'm going back to Tennessee. I'm going back. I'm going back to Tennessee. All right now, get your cowbells out, your cowboy hats on, because K.Michelle is back in the headlines. My girl, okay. Now we were talking about this country album for a very long time. She finally fulfilled her contractual obligation to Atlantic with her last album I'm the Problem. And even though she had to deliver the album, she didn't want to do it. An album full of classic K.Michelle. Okay, classic K.Michelle through and through. Get my entire life with that project. And she even dropped a little gem. She actually, the last two albums, she's been dropping gems. She's been dropping the westernized black girl voice, but she sings, and she puts the twang of her voice on these last two records, basically. And the last record on I'm the Problem, which is the last R&B record, would happen to be Tennessee, going back. It's a pure country record. She's getting y'all ready. She's singing either R&B fans, black people who don't want to listen to country. You're either gonna come on this train or you're not. Right? You're gonna get on this train with me because you're a real fan of me. You know, now as the K.Michelle herself, and not just because it's the music, or you're not. Guess what? I'm going to be on the train. I'm going to be there. Whether she's doing rock and roll, whether she's doing ambient, I don't care, because I love this woman. Okay? I love this woman. And I'm an artist, musician myself, so it's different for me. You know, I love all types of music, as all artists really should. Everything from R&B to pop to country. I love all the music. So it depends on what the song is and who the artist is and what they're talking about that can capture me, right? And so I'm dying for this album to come out. But there is discourse because she's finally ready to drop this album. It's done finally, and she went on a radio interview with the CMF Fest interviewer, and honey, the interviewer started saying, we won't get to all the juicy meat and potatoes, okay, I promise you that. But right now I just wanted to speak up for not just myself, for all other content creators on this platform. Y'all think this is easy, especially now we gotta compete against these people using all this AI slop. Okay, this is not easy. Okay, even for the people that go ahead and record something and post it up and don't do no edits, it's not really that easy for them either. Okay, truth be told. But for a lot of us, we're here doing the extra work. We're here as a one-man show doing this stuff. Okay, and the least you could do is engage, because I've been seeing that most people are not engaging with the video. They're watching. There'll be 100 of you. There'll be 600 of you, and nobody will take an action. It's just flatline. No likes, no comments. Just literally dries a bone. And YouTube hates that. They hate it with a passion because it doesn't tell them anything. There's no data. It doesn't tell them whether this video is important enough to push further down to more people. Okay, and so the creators kind of sits there with all this great work that you consume, but you don't take an action. It's very selfish. It's very rude, and it needs to stop. So when you come to not just my content, when you come to other people's content, especially as very, very small creators, you need to be respectful and at least hit the like on your way out. Even if you don't stay for the whole video, that's not a surprise. That's most of you, okay? You're not the anomaly. You're not the exception. You're the majority, okay? So with that being said, I'm not being mean. I'm not being nasty. I'm being stern and assertive, okay? You need to at least take some kind of engagement. There's more than 100 of you that come over here to my videos to watch, but you don't. A lot of videos go by without any without any action. That had to stop today. Today, okay? So at least hit the subscribe button because you keep coming back for more. Okay? All right? Let's stop disrespecting each other over here in this Western world, and let's start respecting each other. There's enough hate and things going around out there, and enough discourse, and people not being together, and in no real communities. Let's stop today and build a community right here, okay? Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this K.Michelle discourse, as usual, a word. This is to all the middle managers and just the corporate of America, period. So, you want me, the queen, to put in 2 weeks' notice if I decide that I'm leaving. But you can wake up tomorrow morning and I'm none the wiser and decide without any signs, without any prior disciplines or anything. Even if it was, it doesn't matter. You just have to wake up tomorrow and say, he's fired. Okay? And then you come in the office, you pull me into the office. I know something's up because I'm not stupid. And then there's no, you got 2 weeks to find somewhere else to work. There's no, you got 30 days to find somewhere else to go to a job. No, it's just cut. You're fired. It's just cut. Get out of here. Give me your badge. Give me this, and that, and get out. Not caring about anybody's livelihoods, who they got to report to at home, the bills they got, the rent they got to pay. Get the f out of here. Get the f out of here. No, you will not be getting 2 weeks notice. No, you will not be even knowing what other job I got. I will just be gone. How about that? This is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. The show where I talk about popular music and popular artists from today, yesterday, and beyond. Now today, we're talking about my girl K.Michelle, honey, and the discourse on how she handled her interview on that country music interview, okay? So I want you to get comfortable. Grab your popcorn, grab your chips, grab whatever you need to get comfortable because this is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Let's do this. This is It's That Girl, It's Not That Girl. Welcome back in. I'm Peyton 3.0, the artist, the musician, the entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, and not the influencer. Those are great platforms to build that brand, that business, that name, but most importantly, the community. And hopefully you will join this community today by what? Actually engaging. Is that radical? It seems to be, folks. It seems to be really radical. Actually engaging seems to be radical on YouTube. Okay? So, engage, which means to like, and share people that you also know that like artists, commentary, reaction, and reviews. And of course, to truly become a part of this community here, you gotta do a couple things. How do you engage? Subscribe, comment, notification bell. That's simple. Does cost you nothing out of your pocket, but does a world of wonder for the content creator that spends the time putting this entertainment together for you to enjoy. Okay, for the next, 15, 20, 10, 30 minutes, whatever. All right, let's get into this story. We're gonna start off. Let's get into the story. We're starting off here is a clip in YouTube Shorts of a piece of how the interview went, and that is all we need to get this subject kicking. Here we go.
Because I feel like we just kind of got you. You haven't, you didn't grow up here in country music, so kind of tell people, kind of introduce yourself to them, and then tell them how you arrived in Nashville. What brought you here?
Yes, I did grow up in country music. You do this all the time. I did grow up in country music.
Honey, she said, let me correct you one time. I did grow up in country music. You do this all the time. So does she know this woman, or is she talking about like just the country music world itself? Because that could have been worded a little bit differently. But go on, Miss Pate. Go on, Miss Pate. Is it up? Is it on?
Music. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I got a scholarship for yodeling. That's how I paid for college.
All right.
My start to you.
The true K.Michelle fans should know that story already. That she got a scholarship into yodeling school, honey, and she aced that.
To be seen to you has been when the Judds people themselves reached out to me to go and pay Naomi Judd tribute. That was the first tape I ever got, and that was Love Can Build a Bridge. And it's always been a thing for me. I was told I could not sing country music because I was black, but it was something I had always been doing and will continue to do. I'm born and raised in Tennessee.
That's right. She said it's something I've always been doing, and I will continue to do.
I didn't fly here. I grew here.
You grew here.
Yeah, I grew here in Tennessee.
Born and raised. Born and raised.
And I am so happy to be able to sing the songs of who I am and what it is I want to. So I'm happy that people like you are just discovering me, though. And I'm happy to be here for that. So happy that you have.
We're not just discovering you. We just haven't heard you on contemporary country radio yet, right?
Well, you don't hear a lot of women on contemporary
That's right.
radio, period, right now.
That's
okay.
right.
She said, well, she seems to know that she's an R&B star, honey. And then her first rodeo with K.Michelle, running up her music the way she said that. But what I want to get across is that she's like, let's just keep going.
And you really don't hear a black one.
But you're
you
about
will.
to, right?
You're about to.
She said, you ain't hearing a woman right now on a country radio like that.
Yes, you will.
Honey.
Because I feel like we just kind of got.
Okay, we got the point. So there's a lot to unpack there. Okay, let's unpack it, pack it back up, unpack again. Here's the thing. I would say for K.Michelle is that and she didn't go all the way she could have, like she usually would go off back in the days and Snap or whatever, or on a radio interview and Snap. She didn't need to, like if she was on the Breakfast Club or whatever, because that's the Western world of media and entertainment. You can get away with that over there. But when it comes to this country world with all these white people, I'm sorry, YouTube. When it comes to this country world with all these Caucasian people running things, there's a way that you have to come off, but it's not defensive and it's not victimized. Okay? You want to come off as a victor, even if you've been a victim your whole entire life. See, somebody like me personally had to learn that. And it took years to learn it, but me and K.Michelle, first of all, around the same age, okay? We're both millennials, and I already learned that before my 30s hit, okay? And Kay could benefit from, I don't know, she had like, what's her PR with the country world, because they could have had her greatly media trained for this, because this is about strategy. You know, this authenticity only works in certain places, and get you to certain spaces, right? But authenticity, depending on who you are, if you're a fiery kind of person with an electric personality, or an explosive personality, not always in the best way, then your authenticity will land you in worse spaces. Then it will help you. And because I think what she should have done was call up your girl Beyonce and say, Beyonce, I'm about to release this country album. What advice do you have for me, and how did you handle the discourse around you and the country world, and how did you present over there? That's what I would have done. Okay? I would have said, Beyonce, call my girl up and say, hey girl, I need some advice. Because what she gave in there was K.Michelle, right? She didn't.
You haven't, you didn't grow up here in country music. So kind of tell people, kind of introduce yourself.
Thank you. It wasn't like she was transformed as a person, because you could tell it was still the same K.Michelle, but she would just kind of held herself back, right? But you could tell, you could still smell the smoke coming off of K.Michelle. You could still smell the smoke coming off of her. And the interviewer even sensed it too. She should have played it very casual, and because the interviewer to me wasn't really asking or saying anything that was really disrespectful. It's just the fact that she's coming from the other side of the tracks, and in that world, nobody knows who K.Michelle is on this countryside. So this interview was basically asking the questions like the audience, the country people that she's trying to appeal to, K.Michelle, when it comes to her listening to her music and getting that fan base, which will mostly be white, not black. That's just the way it is, right? Right? That come off a little more demure. Play that card up, and just kind of laugh at some of the questions, right? Laugh when it's something that you feel like getting defensive about. Instead of getting defensive, laugh and just kind of chuckle at it, and be coy about it, and answer the question and set things straight. But it's the kind of energy that you bring in the room with you that makes a difference, especially because this is a whole new world. You can't really treat and the country world like you treat the Western media, mainstream GP world, okay? That's a different animal. Down here, they don't really play all that, because we already know the history with us and them, okay? We know that the country music was hostilely taken by force, right? But you're not going to really does fire begetting and fighting with fire ever solve anything? Does anything ever move forward for the person that's on the victim side forward? It doesn't. It makes things worse. And so you have to play strategy. It's just like going into corporate America. Treat the country world in this instance like corporate America. Okay, as a black person who's mainly from the ghetto, you use plenty of ebonics. You's not the one, right? You's not the one. You can get these hands. You can get these hands, right? You's not the one. And you know that you cannot walk into corporate America like that. You gotta put on a nice, slick down business casual, hair done as well as you can do it. And you gotta code switch. Okay, you can't be the around the way chick popping off at the mouth, guns with pop at the gun. No, you got to push all that back, push it back way back, and play those politics. Good morning. How are you today? I'm feeling fabulous today. You look great. I love those heels. Absolutely. So tell me, Peyton, we've never seen you here before. You know, we don't really usually have your kind around here in our community. So tell me, what brings you around here? Now, I could, right, get really defensive, and I would deserve to be, and start kind of popping off or giving this restrained energy of I'm offended, but it's still coming off. It's still coming off of me, right? Or I can go, well, yes, thank you so much for the question. So you know, I've lived around here for a very long time. It's just been very difficult for my people to be able to integrate into these particular spaces. You know, but things are becoming a lot more open and considerate. So I consider that my lane to jump in and learn as much as I could, and study as much as I can, and to get down to business so that I could deserve the opportunity to be over here and to do this. So if I got to be one of the changes and one of the representations for my type of people, then that's what I'll be glad to be. Did you see my tone? Did you watch my body language? Did you see there was a smile on my face the whole time? The chuckle. That's how K.Michelle should have walked into there and answered it. But no, she really started popping off without going full force. If you think about it, she had to hold herself back. You could tell it was like a struggle. Now I want us to watch that interview one more time. Okay? Ooh, there goes a ship right over her head. Oh my. Okay, let's get into it.
Because I feel like we just kind of got you. You haven't, you didn't grow.
I forgot I took my headphones out.
Up here in country music, so kind of tell people, kind of introduce yourself to them, and then tell them how you arrived in Nashville. What brought you here?
Yes, I did grow up in country music. You do this all the time. I did grow up in country music. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I got a scholarship for yodeling. That's how I paid.
Did you see that? The animosity that came over K.Michelle. She said, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Like what? I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. You can't do that, K.Michelle. You can't do that.
I paid for college. My start to you, to be seen to you, has been when the Judds people themselves reached out to me to go and pay Naomi Judd tribute. That was the first tape I ever got, and that was Love Can Build a Bridge. And it's always been a thing for me. I was told I could not sing country music because I was black, but it was something I had always been doing and will continue to do. I'm born and raised.
And another side note that all the country music fans would have needed to do down there in the South is watch this little video here that we're watching and see her do. You always do that. Actually, all they need to see was that little part right there, and just been turned off Don't want to see nothing else from her. Don't want to hear the record. Don't want to see her black ass. Don't want her there. Okay.
It's in Tennessee. I didn't fly here. I grew here.
You grew here.
Yeah, I grew here in Tennessee, and I am so happy to be able to sing the songs of who I am and what it is I want to. So I'm happy that people like you are just discovering me, though, and I'm happy to be here for that. So happy that you
We're
have.
not just discovering you.
And see, she's picking up on the undertones. It went from what to undertones of disgust. And I'm so happy that, like, you people will be witnessing history. Okay.
We just haven't heard you on contemporary country radio yet, right?
Well, you don't hear a lot of women on contemporary
That's right.
radio, period, right now.
That's
okay?
right.
And you really don't hear a black one.
But you're
you
about
will.
to, right?
You're about to. Yes, you will.
All that to say to wrap this up is that she could have come with more strategy instead of just her emotions, because emotions. Well, yes, she's a woman, but again, if you gonna play the man's game, if you want to come out here and be the boss, put on the shoes and get to work, well, you got to play it like a man play it. You know, we can't be out here in our emotions and popping off at the gum. And even if another woman is in the room, right? Because we know that females, there's a cattiness about them between each other. Even if that's the case, you can't let it show, because you gotta think about the bigger picture, what you're trying to accomplish. You don't want to be the person that constantly sticks their foot in the mouth and sabotages themselves. Okay, we've seen it time and time again. You always want to be thinking and be at least 10 steps ahead of whatever it is that you're walking into. I don't know. Like I said, woman's basically 40 years old, and I don't know, honey. I just feel like I really hope things work out in the end, because I love me some K.Michelle. This is some constructive criticism from my girl. Nobody's above critique. Not my faves, not your faves, not nobody's faves. Everybody can get some constructive criticism, including me. Okay? Make you better. Put some more hair on your chest. Okay. If you're not sensitive and soft and break down. Okay? Well, we're not going to go there. A whole other can of worms. Anyway, I want K.Michelle to have a successful country album run. I want to get it. I just don't want her to be the pariah of the country music world because of this interview right here. Okay? I don't want that for her. She's been an outcast and things long enough. You know, let's turn that around for the country world, and let's not enter this world with the same energy and as you have had in the Western world of mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn it around. Let's be somebody pleasant to speak to. Let's come from a victorious state of mind instead of a victim's mentality state of mind and want to pop off and be defensive. Leave that behind, please. I don't know what you got to do it. I was able to do it without a therapist. But not everybody's me, right? Not everybody's me. So with that being said, much power to you, K.Michelle, in this career. Hope this first country album really does numbers and it does well for you. I'll be there to listen. Okay. When's your first single? I want to hear it. Okay. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for a while for it. Anyway, this has been Peyton 3.0, the artist and musician, the entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, and not the influencer. Okay? Now you know what you have to do, right? You have to what? Say it with me. Engage. That does not include watching the video. YouTube doesn't care for that. Okay, so hit the like button. Share with people that you know that like artists' commentary, reaction, and reviews. And of course, to truly become a part of this community here, you have to do 3 things. You have to comment. What happened? You have to comment. You have to subscribe. And notification bell, okay? Those are the 3. Has it been sitting here like this the whole time? The whole time I've been sitting here like this? Let me try to fix that. It doesn't matter. The episode's really over anyway. But anyway, you've been here for this long. So you know, you probably don't know if you're new. But anyway, I said I was an artist, musician, entertainer, right? So we're going to do that right now. Here we go. I see you haters walking down the street. Be talking shit cause y'all be jealous of me. You motherfuckers showing up at my show. Oh heck no, y'all bitches, y'all got to go. You wish you could be walking in my shoes. And if you did, you suckers still wanna lose. See, I was born to be the king with success. And now you hating cause you know who the best. And now, the song.
I know you're out there looking for a stress reliever.
You're looking for a stress reliever out there.
Drugs, the alcohol,
Here we go.
But let me tell you what you need to do. Here we go. Blood pressure, you worked all day like the messenger. Work so hard that the bills are high. All you do is cry me a freaking try. Watch that clock every freaking day. Still on your money, you got to pay. Fuck that shit, man, you need relief. But you got this beef for the fucking cheap. Some take care of the freaking kids. Munch your plate for your freaking lid. Stress too much, always in no rush. You need to brush, you're feeling flush. What is it that you're gonna do? Gonna have some relief in you. Time to get out when the music plays every freaking day. All I gotta say is jump, turn that music loud. I wanna see no hands in the crowd. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Lose your mind to the beat. Shake it up, keep moving your feet. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Get the stress.
And that is all I will be giving you, okay? Anyway, if you want to hear that song in its entirety, then comment in the comment section. You ready? Let me hear that song. And I most certainly will, absolutely for free. Jolene, 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 I'm begging you, please, don't take my man. Jolene, 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 oh, begging you, please, don't take my man. You still here? Okay, well, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Me and K.Michelle do appreciate it, okay? Now, if you want to hang out with me some more, first of all, did you actually engage? Or are you just sitting there and you've done nothing this whole time? We can't have it on here. We can't have that. No. Do that on somebody else's page. Channel, not mine. Okay? We need participators up in here, especially when it's free. Now, if you've done your engagement, you are not authorized to hang out with me in this next video that's going to appear on the screen, okay? All right, meet me over there. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.